So I am going to produce lecture 6 today. And I'm going to go into those lecture notes. And I did a bunch of preliminary research for this lecture. And these are some of the notes that I jotted down. And basically I'm going to get into Firestore, Cloud Firestore as they call it. And so we're going to add a database to the application that we have, just that simple authentication application that we have running right now. Okay. So now I want to say that I went through a bunch of code and worked out the details of what I wanted to show you today, but I didn't post it into the repository because I wanted you to watch me go through the steps of doing it. And I won't be able to go through the steps perfectly. I'll be making mistakes, so you can see how I try resolving mistakes. But I think I have enough information that I won't drag on the presentation for too long. I'll be able to wrap things up pretty quickly. Well, maybe an hour or two at the least. So what I'm going to do, I have this folder right now that which has got my new material in it. So I'm just going to move that out. I don't want to push that into the remote because I want to rebuild the code from scratch. So I'm just going to save this. I'm going to call it save. And then I'll reclone my repository. So I'm going to grab that. I think I got it. So it's git clone, and there's the URL. And so here is the, oops. So here's the folder that we have with not too much in it. So you see in here we have this a README file. Looks like there's nothing in it. Nothing in the README file. Firebase Json. This has got some configuration for Firebase. So when I think it's a Firebase admin API maybe reads this file. And the Firebase admin component. Anyway, we've got hosting configured. So there's a public folder called public. These files are ignored, they're never served. And these are some rewrites, I don't want to get into that. And then we have a hosting emulator. Well, we're going to add to that, we're going to add an emulator, a Firebase emulator too. So now we're running locally, we're running a web server locally with the, that executes Node.js locally and so on, and it serves files from the local host. But we're going to add an emulator for the database so that when we develop the application, we're hitting a local instance of the database. We're not hitting the instance of the database that's housed with Firebase or Google. So we'll be adding to that file Firebase RC. It just gives the name of the project, default project name, I guess. Not sure how that's used. And of course, git ignore is things to leave out. I leave out, swap files and log files and some other stuff we don't need in there. This is the Firebase cache and so on. We didn't see this Firebase cache when we looked in here, did we? But we need to use that -a flag to say show everything. So here's the that's Firebase RC, .firebase RC. That's not the cache, and this would be in the repository actually. So that's another file, and then we have the public folder. This is where most of the work is right now. So we have this index.html file, and it's here in the head section. We load the Firebase scripts, and then we call a init. We run the Firebase init script, and then we run our own script. And I have a.js. It's A is short for authentication or application, one or the other. I'll create a new file called b.js. So we'll put new code into b.js. The new code that's in b.js will be application code that's not implementing authentication. So I'm just going to keep all the authentication just in a.js and load the rest of it. Now let's do that right now, actually. So, and I want to add a defer attribute to that. So I want this to be loaded in sequence and so on. All right, so let's see, replace, there we go. So we're going to load A, then we're going to load B. So, and B, let me tell you where we're headed. So right now, we're just showing, you know, a login and a logout functionality, that's all. And then we just say hi. When we log in, we see this hi. So what I'm going to do is add some stuff to it. So what I want to do is that when users first go to the website, they just see that login function. That's all they get. And then once they log in, then they retrieve a note that they wrote for themselves that only they can see. So the note will be stored in the database. And when the user logs in, the user can see the note. And then the user has the option of editing the note. So we're going to have edit functionality. So let's do this. This is the, or this section here, look at it like this. This is a generic message, just related to authentication and basic things. System messages. When we haven't logged in yet, this div is, the display is set to block, not none, so that this section becomes visible. And what we see in that section is we just see a field for the user to type in their email address, and then there's a button to click to send the login link to their email. Once the login procedure is completed, this div, A logging in, the display is set back to none, so it disappears. And this display attribute, style attribute, is set to block so that the logged in div becomes visible. So when this becomes visible, we have a logout button, and then we're going to show the message, or the note rather, b.note. All right, so it's b.note. So, but actually it's going to be a little different. So when we're logged in, there's going to be two states. There's going to be just viewing the note, and then the other state is editing the note. So I'm going to do it like this. So it's b view. So this is the view section. This is the block of logic that we make visible when we're in view mode. And when we're not in view mode, when we're in edit mode. And so this is like substates. So the outer state is we're logged in. So our state is that we're logged in. So within that state, we have two substates. We're either viewing the note, or we're editing the note. And let's go ahead, and we're going to do the same thing here. Give these style attributes to these divs. Whoops. There we go. So, so when we first expose this logged in section, this b view, we need to set the display to block, and we need to show the message, or the note rather. This is the note. So I'm going to use an ID for that. It's going to be b view note. So here's the note. We're going to call it a note. And we don't have anything in there at the moment. And then we're going to need an edit button. And something like this. This is a send link button, so it'll be B edit button, or we'll say B. Maybe I'll do it like this: B view. I'm not sure yet how to name that because we're in this view block here, and this is the note in the view block. This is the edit button in the view block. And I think I'll do it like that. It's all right. And let's see, this will be, we're going to give it some text. And it's going to be, say, edit. Say, we'll do edit note. How's that? There we go. That's the input field. And so we have a type as well. So the type is submit. So it's a button. It comes up as a button. And there we go. I like to put a space there. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. All right. So that's the edit button. And then once we're editing, we're going to be in here. And it's going to be similar. The note is going to be not a div this time. It's going to be a text area. I give the ID here. This is going to be the edit note. So we're in the edit block here. So, and then we have the edit note. And we're going to put that in there. This will be text area. Now text area uses a setting or an attribute called rows and columns. So we got to give it some rows here. I'll give it 5 rows. And the columns are columns. Did I spell that right? I'm terrible about spelling things. Column. That's a column, yeah. I know it's silly, but I can't remember how to spell certain words. This is one of them. So columns is, it gives it, it's more in terms of characters. I don't know exactly how it's measured. It could be uppercase M's or something like that, but I'm just going to throw in a number there because we're not going to get into the details. I'll give it 40 columns. All right. So, and then this there's going to be an input. It's going to be B. This is edit. This is B edit save button. And this will be save changes. And then we want to wait to cancel. So this will be cancel changes. Or just cancel. All right, so in this input field, it'll come right after that one. So they're going to be, you know, I'm going to put a size field in there just so that I get the same size on those. Nah, not going to worry about it. Simply not going to worry about it. And I'll just put a break here. All right, this text area, I think that's a block element, doesn't need a break. We'll see. And there we go. Now we need to create B. B.js, this has got to get created. And there's A. If we copy A.js to B.js, and maybe we can make use of it. At least this part is good. I think most of this we have to rewrite. So, well, there's some good stuff in here, but I'm just going to put it all in again. This one I want to leave. There we go. So when the page is loaded, this is run. So I know that this runs after, not exactly, it runs at certain times. Anyway, we'll see if we need that. We're going to do that. And so if we, let's run the emulator. It looks like this. Emulators. And I go start. There's only one emulator running right now. It's the hosting emulator. Right there. Emulators, starting emulators, hosting. So there's only one. There's the URL right there. I better put it on the console. So we're logged in. It doesn't, so when we're logged in, that's it. We just show that we're logged in, and we can log out and log back in again. So we will log out and then we log back in again. And then we have to get the link. And you'll see it's going to say logged in there. And it's also going to say logged in there as well, which is, this is the one that I had open. So, oh, look, the log out button is grayed out, and this log out button is not grayed out. So that's an issue. Let me bring this up. Oh no, it's grayed out now. I don't get it. Oh no, sorry, here it's grayed out. That is grayed out, but this one is not grayed out. So why is this one grayed out? This is the one that I originally opened, isn't it? So when login, we can fix that. Let's look at that. So when, let's look at the login page load. That's what it happens. This is it right here. We call this sign in with email link. Auth state change, this runs. So when the auth state changes and the user logs in, this variable user will be set to something. It won't be null. So we're going to run this code in here. So we need to, the logout button needs to be enabled. Well, it doesn't look like it's being enabled. Like right here, this should run right there. So auth state didn't seem like it changed there. Why would this be logged out? So that's, don't get it. I don't get it. Seems like this should run here. And this is not working. Let me see if I reload this page. Of course, it's okay. And let me try it again. So I'm logged in here, right? And this should run. Let's see if this runs. Logout button disabled. Watch this. So it's console.log logout button enabled. So that's what happens when we get to this. When we set disable to false, it's enabling it. All right, let's see if that comes up. All right, so we load this logout button enabled. So we know that this runs. This auth state change will run. So when we reload the page, we're not logged in, and then it does some verification, and then it logs it in, and then this function runs, and then we get that. Okay. Same with this page. All these pages are identical. Oh no, this is a different. Look at that. Please provide your email for confirmation. But see, we already removed the email from the local storage. So this action code is invalid. This can happen if ... So yeah, look at that. You know, there's a lot of weirdness here, and I'm gonna just skip over it for now. And let's see, I'm gonna just test this again. So here we are. If we log out, all right, and then we're going to send a login link. Is this it? Oops, I should have put that up. Failed to load the resource. Oh, what's going on there? Auth invalid action code. The action code is invalid. Oh, maybe the problem is that the email is bad. And let me go and redo it. And I'm going to go ahead and reload that page. Send the login link. Okay, here we go. We're logged in. Log out button is enabled. What about this one? Log out button isn't. This time it's not coming up, so I can't reproduce the situation. Very interesting. So Firebase is very complicated, and who knows what's going on there. You got to work with it a lot and keep digging in all the time to really dig down and understand all the issues as they're happening. All right, so that's it for now. Let's leave that, and then let's see here. We're going to go back and continue on. So let's go into B. When B runs, what B run is going to do is, this is how I'm going to do it. So B, the code, you know, the B code, that's the code that after we log in, okay? So we want the B code to sort of take over and initialize, get the substates working after the user logs in. So what I'm going to do is the following. And this is a.js, and I'm going to define a global variable A, and then this is the add event listener. Let me think for a second what is going on. This is auth state change. Here we go. Auth state changed. So when we log out, we're going to have, we don't have to worry about the logout. It's login. When we log in, well, actually, we'll do it like this. If a.login, if that is defined, then we're going to call it. I'm sorry, no, yeah, a.login, a.login. There we go. This is just like a login handler, and the same thing where logout. If a.logout is defined, then call it as a function. All right, so those are for the downstream B code to register itself with the upstream A code without A looking at B. So A doesn't depend on B. B looks at A. So this is called I forget what this is called, injection something or other. All right. So here, we want to register those functions, and those functions are created when A runs. Now A will run before B, so I can do that in here. So a.login is a function that console log, log in. And then log out, console log out. So we can be informed when there's a login event, and we can be informed when there's a logout event. Now, when there is a login event, we need to do the following. It's B underscore view dot display, no, dot style dot display equals block. So we want that to become visible. And then B underscore view edit button dot disable is false. So we want to enable the edit button. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to say log in. I wonder why it's doing this now. Yeah, I gotta have to fix this because this is an issue here. Identity toolkit, what is the error message exactly here? The action code is invalid. This can happen if something is malformed, expired, or has already been used. I don't get it. Don't get it. So the action code, something with that. Well, look, you can see that this is up here. This is the edit note is now visible, and it's enabled. Doesn't do anything. And if I reload, now why is this? I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to look at something. Let's look at the application. And we'll look at the not cache storage, application cache. No, where's the local Local storage. Is it in here? Frames. I don't see anything in there. What's this? Cookies. And memory, maybe that's it. No. Should be a local storage, but it's normally inside here. Why would this is the cache storage. Let's look at, certainly it's not in there. Where do I find the local storage? Sources, network, performance, memory. Where is local storage? What the heck? Application, cache. Maybe there is nothing in there. There is nothing in there at the moment. I'm gonna restart this thing. Sign in with email link failed. First argument email must be a valid string. Oh, no. It's just login there. That's the old message. All right. Oops. Yeah, I don't need this. I know that this is running. All right. So here we go. Now this edit node, if we click the edit node, we need to edit. So let's do that. So if we click the edit node, we want to transition. So what we want to do is add that to so we want to transition, so it'd be wait a minute, so we hit edit node, so we're going to do A, it's not A rather, it's B, edit, save button. I remember the name I gave it. And so when the user hits, what is edit node, sorry. This should be B, view, edit button. So we're going to disable it. So we only wanted to take a single press. And after we press it, then we disable it. All right. Actually, we can demonstrate that right now. What is this add event listener? This is I got to add the event listener. So it's B, view, edit button, and what the heck? It's add event listener. And we're going to put in, we're going to register the click event. And when the click event runs, we're going to, when the edit button is clicked, we're going to disable the edit button. And it may not be necessary because we're going to set this whole section to empty anyway. So the div, the B view div, the style, the display style is going to be set to back to none. And then the B edit style display is set to block. And then what else do we do? So we turn on that, the edit block becomes visible. And we want to make sure that the buttons in there, this is the save button, disable. We want to enable them, so we set that to false. Same with the b.edit save button. This should be an underscore here. And this is the cancel button. It's also false, so those are enabled. And let's go ahead and put that in here. So that's the event listener for the edit button. When you click the edit button, this this view becomes none. Actually, I probably don't need to disable this. Maybe I'll just comment that out. Probably don't need that. And this, you know, if it's always enabled, we probably don't need to enable and disable all the time. Let me think about it for a second. I think I'm going to leave these in here because there's some asynchronous business going on, and when we start a process, we want to disable buttons, so we don't want to cascade a whole bunch of repetitive actions. So we're going to disable that. Let's see. All right. So then we have this edit button done. And then we've got the now we've got the we've got the save button in the edit view. And when the save button is clicked, what we want to do is the view, that's the save button. So actually, we got to do that later. The save button, we're just going to simulate something here. We're just going to go backwards here and pretend like we made a change. So it's going backwards. All right, that's the save button. Then we have a cancel button. Cancel button is going to do the same thing. It's just going to go back. Won't actually do any work. But we'll have to expand this save button. We actually have to interact with the database. So we haven't done that yet. That's coming. Okay. And let's take a look at this. And reload. Let it reload again. All right. And click edit. And nothing happens. It was edit note. This is the view edit button. It should be right here. Console.log. I think this runs. It should just say hi on that, right? Edit note should say hi. There it is. So that means we are running this code down here, okay? So let's see, what do we do when we click that? this view, so we disable the edit button, and we turn off the view, and we display the edit block, and the edit block has got 2 buttons in it, and B edit save button and B edit cancel button. So why don't those become visible? Why don't these become visible? Because this, see, we're logged in and loaded. It says edit note. Why would that be in there? Oh, because there is no note. And we click edit note, so it is working. It is working. Except it's not showing these buttons. So when we, this B, so where is it? This is B display block is set to block. Yeah, we got to turn those buttons on. So why aren't those buttons visible? Why aren't these buttons visible? In this B edit, we have a text area here. I'm just putting hello in there. Doesn't even say hello. Oh, this is, yeah, this is when we edit. This is the edit. So when we click edit, there's no hello in there. No. All right, so this this is B edit. This is B edit. This is B view. And let's look. And this is A logged in. I think A logged in is good. And because we have a logout button, this shows up. The logout button shows up. But this B view, it doesn't seem, the display, it doesn't seem to be turned to block. And this is the B view note. Oh, I see. I'm going to put something in here. I am a note. Is that going to show up? I am a note. So that's the, that note is good. And then we have this, the view edit button. That's the view edit button, B view edit button. This is the B view edit button handler. When we click that, we disable the edit button, and then we do all this stuff. Let's see if we just disable the edit button, we should just see that disabled, right? Let's see if that works. So now, when I go in here, when I click edit note, it's only going to disable the this edit button. Let's see if that works. Oop. Does not work. Why is that not working? So maybe because view edit button, this is view edit button disable is, maybe we can't set disable to true when we're in there. Is that right? Let's see. How about if it's that logout button? Let me try the same thing. If I do a logout button, is that the name of it? A logout button. A logout button disabled is true. Let's see if we disable the logout button this time. When we click this edit note, nope, we don't disable that either. All right, I'm going to go into that save folder, and I'm going to look at, I got some error there. It's disable is false. View edit button disable is false. I don't get it. This this disables it, but it's not disabled. It doesn't look like it's disabled. Maybe that is disabled. Is that disabled? Let's see. When we click this, when we click this edit button in the view, all we're going to do is say that disabling logout button. That's all we're going to do. Oh, what the heck. I got to... There we go. All right, so these are both enabled. If I click the edit note, it says disabling logout button, but that button is not logged out. I mean, that button is not disabled, so I don't get it. This is disabled. This is not disabled. Holy crap. All right, I got to dig into this. Why is this like this? Just craziness here. You know, maybe it comes up differently if I do this. Firebase serve. Let me see. If, I don't think that's it, but I'm just going to do it anyway. All right. Oh, I thought I had this all ready to go. So when I click edit node, everything is there. I am a node. An edit node should be very simple. Edit node. It's the view edit button. This is it right there. View edit button, right? So if we look at this, this is the B view edit button right there. And it says edit message. What the heck? I'm in the wrong one. All right, there's B view. This is B view note. I'm a note. This is B view edit button. That's it right there. B view edit button. This is the note. B view note. And this is B view. So when I click the B view edit button, this is the B view edit button, add listener click. We're going to do this console. We disable the logout button. Seems like we should be able to do that. Should work. So I'll reload again. When I click edit node, it should simply disable the logout button. But the logout button is still there. It is not disabled. So I think the problem is, I'm going to kill that. I think the problem is not CSS. HTML disable attribute. Maybe I don't have that right. Oh, disabled. Son of a gun. That whole time I've been wasting on this. That's what I get for writing up so much code without testing it first. All right. That's disabled there. I think I got it. And I think that's it. I must start this up. Go back to the page. Send the login link. There it is. All right. Now, what happens when I click this edit button? Here it is. Edit button. We're going to disable the edit button. We're going to set the view block to none. So actually the edit button is going to disappear, even though we disable it, so we won't have access to it anyway. And then we're going to display the edit section. All right, let's do it. Edit note. There we go. So the thing is, we turned on edit, but we see nothing in there. How come we see nothing in there? edit. We made this visible. This should say hello. This is edit. What is going on? This is edit style.display is block. Why doesn't that work? Why do we only see this? All right, let me try this. All right. So this says display none. That's the current style. Logged in is display block. And the logout button is visible. See it? There's going to be a, a display value in there. Maybe, display inline block, for instance. And then we have this view. The view is not being displayed. Why is view not? That's _view. _view. Oh, yeah. We want _view to be grayed out. The problem is it's _edit. Oh, look at that. This is not right. This shows it's a div inside of there. I got this. The organization is wrong. I didn't close a div. So this div here is, there it is right there. See that div? Not closed. All right. Son of a gun. Same with this one here. All right. Man, that was a killer. I'm just going to get rid of that. This is getting too complicated with the email, so I'm going to restart. And we have some kind of an email must be a valid string. I don't get that. Sign in with email link is failing. So why is that? Sign in with email link. First argument email must be a valid string. So why is that? So it's sign in with email link. Sign in with email link right here. This email, so if we get it out of the local storage, if it's not there, we prompt for it. All right, so somehow it's not getting into local storage. I don't get what's going on there. This should be in here. Oh, storage? Clear storage. Clear site application storage. Where's the local storage? Right there. Here's the local storage. Local storage shows nothing. There's no email in there. So that means when this page load, login page load runs, this get email is going to come up null. So then we prompt, I think that's what we were doing. We're prompting, right? Let me try that again. Maybe I'm not going to worry about it. Let me log out. Let's watch the local storage, how it runs. You'll see email will be set in there. Alrighty. Let me get rid of it. Maybe the problem was that. And that one. And that one. And that one. And then we're going to do, here we go, send the login link. So we should see the email show up right here. Okay. There it is. See, it's getting written into local storage. Now that local storage, we're going to get it here when we do login page load. It's not null, so this won't execute. And then we're going to send it in there so we don't get an error message. And then look at what it does is it removes it here too, see? So it's going to be gone after we use it. All right. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to get this. All right, that's error-free. Here, the logout got grayed out. Why is that? Oh yes, sign in with email link failed. Email must be a valid string. So I got to look at, so somehow this thing is getting, when it gets deleted from local storage, I think it tries to this login page load, and somehow this prompt doesn't come up. I mean, I don't get it. You know what? I'm not going to get into that right now. We're never going to get this done. All right, so edit note. There's the hello change. I go back, edit note. So we got this, got that running. All right. I'm not very happy with the logging in, logging out functionality though. There's some mystery there that I don't understand. All right. All right, now what we want to do is add a database to this. So we go to the Firebase console. And you'll see in here, there's the database. I added one already called Firestore. You go into this database link here. And you create a database. You have a choice. You can either have the real-time database or the cloud Firestore. So I selected cloud Firestore. I think you can have both also, but it's what we have here. And then we have this thing called rules. This is critical. The rules is where the real complexity comes in. That because it's this is a form of like an application architecture. It's called serverless web app, and this is the rules that they give us here. It should be firebase.rules. This rule here allows everything. So it allows a read and write if true. Of course, true is always true, so it always allows read and write. And this is like a wildcard that matches every possible document and all the sub-documents. That's what the double star means. It means go to all the sub-documents and match against all of those. And for everything you match against, just allow all operations. So this opens up the database. And the thing is, we need to install the emulator. So we want to run locally, so we need to install the emulator locally. So let's see how to do that. This is develop and test. Let me see if there's a link in there. Read the docs. There it is. Install, configure, and integrate local emulator suite. So we could run this one. These are the different emulators that you can run. Here's the hosting. We were running this one already. So now we're going to add Firestore. We're going to run the Firestore. We're not going to run this real-time database. We're not going to do cloud functions. We're not doing cloud messaging, I think they call that. We're just going to do Firestore here. So let's see, set up the emulators. So we want to, let's go ahead and do Firestore. What was the command again? Oh, Firebase init emulators. Firebase. So it's showing it here. We've got hosting already. Now we want Firestore set up. Which port? 8080. We'll take the default. Would you like to download the emulator? Yeah. And there we go. So it wrote a configuration into this file. Project information went in there. And let's see if it did anything else. That's it. So if I do Firebase Emulators :start, it should show the Firebase emulator starting. Or sorry, Firestore. See, and it says Firestore did not find a cloud Firestore rules file. So this is very important, a rules file. Control C to kill that. So it's firestore.rules. This file is essential. And I'm going to go back to here. This opens up everything. So if I run the emulator now, we won't get that error message. But we did get it. Did not find a cloud Firestore rules file. Oh, specified in Firebase.json. All right. So we put our rules file here, but this is complaining about the Firebase Json. And here is the Firestore emulator. I think we're going to need to put something in here. Let me check this again. And I'm going to look at this quick start here. Here's some sample code that shows this project, quick start Node.js. This is, all this is, it's not about Node.js. It's, I don't know why they call it quick start Node.js. Oh, that's the higher level. But down here, the Firestore emulator. This is an example of using writing test code to test the rules file. Because the rules file is very important, so that has to be tested normally. And here is the missing piece right there. And I'm going to start this up. Yep, there we go. So we got that started. That's good. Now what I want to do is show you how to do a test. And I make a folder named test. And inside test, we're going to create a test.js. And hi testing, I'll say. So if we run that, like node test, just says hi testing. So it's a node file. Just says hi testing. And if you look at the files in here, you'll see there's a Firebase.json. That's what I want to open up. And it has a, no, it should be packages.json. That's what I want. Should be packages.json. So basically I need to run npm init, and I'll put save in there. Package name. What's a good package name? Serve prog is a better package name. Version, description, entry point. Wait a minute, is this what I want to do? I don't think so. I need to get the npm install. That's it. That's what I wanted. Not init. And use that save here. The save. What does save do? So what does save do for npm install? The save option instructs npm to include the package inside of the dependencies section of your package.json automatically, thus saving you an additional step. And this is what I want, package.json. Look at this. It's got run npm. You just, I don't know exactly what this does, but I'm going to run it, and it does no package.json file. I thought I had that in there. Package.json. So save option. npm install save. What? npm install. You know, there's a lot I don't know about Firebase. It's just a giant open problem. So package.json is not in there. When I run it with save, I get nothing. You can add a package.json file to your package. It is init. All right, all right. All right, I'll do the init. Serve prog. Oops, test command. I wanted to put that in there. Serve prog. Test command. Mocha. All right, there it is, package.json. Whoops. So you'll see in here, this is the test directory. This is for a node project, by the way. This is used for initializing for node projects. So in the script section, there's a test field, test key set to Mocha. So this is a command that I can run. And this stuff here, you know, I don't really need this. Maybe I'll leave it in there. Author, license, bugs, homepage, all this stuff. You know, it's not the... Why didn't Firebase create this? Firebase project without package.json. I don't know why that was left out. Firebase init. You know, I'm going to get rid of that. Move package.json to X. And all right, I'm gonna try it again. Firebase init. Let me try that. Firebase init. I think Firebase should write its own package.json file, I think. Which Firebase command line interface features do you want to set up for this folder? Do you want to overwrite it with the new rules? Yeah, I'm going to overwrite it. What file should be used for indices? That's okay. What do you want to use as your public directory? Public. Configure as a single page app? Yes. Or it exists. Overwrite index.html? No. And which Firebase emulators do you want to set up? That's it, just these. Press space, select, ADA toggle, enter to confirm. Port for Firestore configured, port for hosting, which you download the emulators now. I already downloaded them, but that's there. Okay, so now Firebase Json. It's still not there. I think that this is it. We're okay with this. I don't know why we got all this other junk in there. If I look at this quick start here, and their package.json is pretty simple. You know, it's got a name. There's the name. It's got a version, a description. See, this isn't needed. And this directories, this is not needed. And then it has scripts. Here it is. They're using Mocha. There it is. And then repository is not needed. And dev dependencies. I don't know why that's just going to put that just like that. These dependencies, it should be in there. Oh yeah, this, we need to install this. This is by npm. So we should have npm install Firebase testing, at Firebase testing. I don't know what the @ symbol is for. This will modify package.json. This is the quick start. This is the docs. We went there already. This is the emulator. What are we doing here? Yeah, this is, looks good. You'll see node modules got created here. And if we look at package.json, we should see, there it is. This is the dependencies right there. And there's going to be some Firebase too. I mean, is it Firebase? I wonder why Firebase is not in there. But anyway, let's, all right. It's already installed. All right, let's keep going. So to run the test code, you've just run this, oh, you have to install this Mocha. So it's npm install -g Mocha. Install Mocha for Firebase. Here it is, save dev. Testing Firebase locally with Mocha. I installed a package from npm. Save dev Firebase server. This doesn't look right. This right there. Yeah, these two. Install both Firebase functions test. But we're not going to test functions. We're testing, it's just this one here. It's just this one. There we go. Modify your functions. Package.json. This is for testing functions. But anyway, this is how you install Mocha. So it looks like that. I think I used a different approach. Mocha's in there now as a dev dependency. That's different than a, this must be like a runtime dependency. This is a dev dependency, but this is actually not really runtime. It's only run during testing. Anyway, that's that, okay. And then if we run Mocha, I think it's going to say hi something. Hi testing. See, what Mocha does is it'll look inside a test folder and it calls things in there. So that's what's getting called right there. All right, that took a long time. And so now we're going to look at this quick start. You look at their tests. Here's an example. Well, we got to load these things. You know, we could test that, make sure that runs just Mocha. Yeah, it does nothing, right? So that's good. No error message. Watch, see if we did this. Now we run it, should be fail, right? There we go. All right. So we have this stuff to be concerned with, and we'll do it a step at a time. I'm going to get rid of this coverage thing, and this Firebase port is 8080. Going to get rid of that. Now we have a project ID. I'm going to call it servprog. And this file, we created this, so we're going to read that, read file synchronously, and the contents of the file will be in rules. And let's just do this, console.log rules. Let's see what gets printed. We just print the rules. Mocha. There it is. That's the rules. Allow everything. And the other way to run Mocha, we run it through npm test. See, because npm test reaches into package.json and looks in scripts, finds test, and then runs that one line right there. All right. Let's do some more. And this is the thing. What we have here are test cases. And we have something like this. We have the tests look like this. They have these its here. So I'm going to try this without those semicolons, just to see if I can get it to work. All right. And then, so this here, this is the Firestore rules test. So in here we have, we call it, this is a block of tests. And we could have blocks within blocks. So I'm going to do it like this. Describe. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll just keep it simple. So here's an example. It takes a string which describes what's going on, followed by this this function that's prefixed by the name async, because it's converting a promise into a blocking call. Sort of. Not exactly. So here is, we're going to say non-authenticated users can access nothing. All right. So we're going to test that non-authenticated users can access nothing in the database. So we need to get this. It shows it right here. This one right there. Initialize test app. So what we're going to do is for this test, we initialize the test app, and then pass in the project ID, which is defined up here, and we pass in an auth object, and we're just going to pass in null. There's no auth object. And this test app, we're just going to call it app. It's a Firebase. Oh, it's Firestore. So we go. This will be the test app, and then the database is just the app.firestore. So what this does, this initialized test app, that comes from this module here. And it gives us a Firebase object. Normally you can't call initialized test app on the Firebase object, but we got an instance of the Firebase object from this alternative testing module. So it gives us some additional functionality. This is one of them right there. And what we do there is we pass in a configuration object. And this doesn't look right. It should be like this. project ID, and auth is null. That's how it should look, I think. And then we get the database this way. And then once we have a database, we can do stuff on it. And like, for instance, we get a collection here. So we're going to go, so our database is going to have, let's say it's going to be these, what is it called, user objects. And the user object